So now let's discuss some basic commands. In this chapter, we will learn about some basic commands along with their purpose and usage. And you can follow the activity guide for the practicals for the same. So let's discuss Docker basic commands here. To check all the available Docker commands, you can use Docker with the option --help. Right? It displays the list of available Docker commands along with their descriptions. And when you run Docker --help, Docker provides a comprehensive view of all the commands, flags, and options available for interacting with the Docker engine. It helps user understand the functionality and usage of various Docker commands, right? And next command is Docker version, to show the Docker version. So the purpose of this Docker version command is to show the Docker version installed on the system, right? Running Docker version provides information about the Docker client and server versions installed on your machine. It includes details such as version numbers, build informations, and API versions. Helps user to verify the Docker installation and compatibility, right? Next command is Docker info. The purpose of this command is to display system-wide information about the Docker. So Docker information, that is Docker info, provides comprehensive details about the Docker environment, including the number of containers and images, storage drivers, network settings, and more. It gives more user insights into the overall Docker configuration and resource available on the system. This information is useful for troubleshooting, monitoring, and understanding the Docker environment. Next command is Docker pull. The purpose of Docker pull is to pull an image from the Docker Hub registry or another specified registry. With the Docker pull, you can download Docker images from registry such as Docker Hub to your local machine. You specify the image name optionally followed by a tag to pull a specific version of the image. And this command is used when you need a specific Docker image for running containers. Right? You can take an example of Docker pull Ubuntu. It will pull an Ubuntu image to your local machine. Next is Docker build. The purpose of this command is to build a Docker image based on instructions provided in Dockerfile. So using Docker build, you can create a Docker image from a set of instructions defined in a Docker file. So the Docker file contains the commands to assemble image, including instructions to copy the file, install dependencies, and configure the environment. The command syntax includes options followed by a directory path containing the Docker file or a URL pointing to the location of the Docker file. Using Docker build dot implies that Docker file is in the current directory. Right? Next is Docker run. So purpose of Docker run is to run a container from the Docker image. So Docker run is used to start a container from a Docker image. Users can specify various options such as -i for an interactive session, -t to allocate a TTY, that is the terminal type, and the name of the image. Additionally, users can provide a command to execute within the container, that is bin or bash, and this command creates a new container instance based on specified image and runs the specified command inside it. Right? Next command is Docker ps. It lists all the running containers. Right? So running Docker ps displays a list of all the containers that are currently running on the Docker host. By default, it only shows active containers. Right? This command is useful for monitoring the status of the running containers. And if we use docker ps-a, it lists all the containers including those are stopped. Adding the -a flag to docker ps lists all the containers whether they are running or stopped, and this command provides a comprehensive view of all the containers present on the Docker host, including their status and other details. Next command is docker start. It starts a stopped Docker container, right? So docker start is used to restart a previously stopped container identified by its container ID. Once started, the container resumes its execution from the state it was in when it was stopped. So this command is useful for reactivating containers that have been stopped temporarily. Next command is docker stop. It stops a running container. So docker stop and then container ID halts the execution of running containers identified by its container ID. It sends a term, that is signal, to the main process inside the container, allowing it to gracefully shut down. And if container does not stop within a specified timeout period, Docker sends a signal kill to forcefully terminate it. So this command is used to gracefully shut down containers and release their resources. Next, we will discuss some commonly used image commands. First is Docker images. It lists the Docker images in the local system. So, both Docker images and Docker image ls displays the list of Docker images available locally on your system. Each image is listed along with its repository, tag, image ID, creation date, and size. So this command is helpful for managing and monitoring Docker images stored locally, including identifying outdated or unused image that can be removed to free up the disk space. Right? Next is Docker push. So Docker push command pushes the Docker images to a registry, making them available for use by others or on different systems. Right? So after building or tagging a Docker image, you can use a Docker push to upload the image to a Docker registry, such as Docker Hub or a private registry. This command requires authentication, so you may need to log into the registry using Docker login before pushing images. Once authenticated, the image is pushed to the specified repository with the specified tag, making it accessible to other users or systems. So the next command is Docker tag. It tags the Docker image with specific repository and tag name. So Docker tag is used to assign a new tag to an existing Docker image, and this command is commonly used for pushing images to a registry. You specify the name of the existing image followed by the new repository and tag name, and after tagging the image, you can push it to the registry using Docker push. This process allows you to organize and version your Docker images effectively. So here are some commonly used container commands. Let's discuss these. First is Docker start. It starts one or more stopped Docker containers. So Docker start is used to restart one or more Docker containers if previously stopped. You provide the container ID or name of the container you want to start as arguments, and if you want to see the output of the command, you can use the -ai option followed by the container ID. This command is useful for resuming containers that have been previously stopped. Right? Next is Docker stop command. It stops a running Docker container. So Docker stop holds the execution of one or more running containers. You provide the container ID or name of the containers you want to stop as arguments. By default, Docker sends a signal to main process inside the container, allowing it to gracefully shut down, and you can specify a time period using the -t or -- time option to wait before stopping the container. So if the container does not stop within the specified timeout, Docker sends a signal kill to forcefully terminate it. So this command is used to gracefully shut down containers and release these resources. Next is Docker restart command. So the purpose of this command is to restart a Docker container. So Docker restart is used to stop and then start a Docker container. You provide the container ID or the name of the container you want to restart as an argument. So this command is a convenient way to restart a container without having to manually stop and start it separately. Right? Next is Docker pause. So Docker pauses a running container. So Docker pause suspends all the processes running in the specified container. This effectively halts the Docker container's execution, but it remains in a paused state. So preserving its current state and resource allocation, pausing a container can be useful for temporary suspension without stopping it completely. So what is the difference between Docker pause versus stop? So Docker pause suspends all the processes in the container, allowing them to be resumed later without losing their current state, right? And Docker stop sends a signal to the container's main process, instructing it to gracefully shut down. And if the container does not stop within a specified time period, Docker sends a signal kill to forcefully terminate it. So stopping a container releases all its resources and terminates its execution. So that is the main difference between Docker pause and stop. Next is Docker run. So it creates and starts a new Docker container from a Docker image. That is the main purpose of this Docker run command. So Docker run is used to create and run a new container instance based on the specified Docker image. You provide options to customize the container's behavior, such as port mappings or volume mounts, and after specifying the image to use, you can optionally provide a command to override the default command defined in the image's Docker file. This command is a fundamental for launching Docker container from images. So to run a Docker container in the foreground, normally Docker starts a container and displays its output in the terminal by default, right? And by running Docker run Ubuntu as that is specified in this example, you launch a Docker container based on the Ubuntu image and see its output directly in your terminal, right? This is called showing a container in the foreground, running a container in the foreground. And you can use the keyboard shortcut Ctrl+C to stop the container if you want, right? For running Docker container in a detached mode, or if you want it to run in a background, you can start a Docker container in the background, allowing it to run independently of the terminal. How you can do this? You can do this by using run -d command, -d option, and then you can specify the image you want to run. That is, in example, you have used Docker container run -d Ubuntu. You start a Docker container based on Ubuntu image in a detached mode. The container runs in the background and you can continue using the terminal without being attached to the output. So this is helpful for long running services or applications, right? So for running Docker container with specific name, you have to start a Docker container with the custom name, right? So with Docker run --name Ubuntu -Linux -d Ubuntu, what you are doing, you launch a Docker container based on the Ubuntu image and assign it to the name Ubuntu Linux, right? And this allows you to easily identify and reference the container by its name instead of its container ID. So in order to running the Docker container in interactive mode, you can use -i and -t option along with the name of the image, right? You have to start a Docker container and allows interactive access for executing commands inside the container. So using docker run -i-t-name Ubuntu Linux and -d Ubuntu /bin/bash, this is the command. What it is doing, you are creating a Docker container named Ubuntu Linux based on the Ubuntu image, and the -i flag keeps standard input open even if not attached, and the -t flag allocates a terminal type for interaction. Finally, /bin or /bash specifies the command to run inside the container, allowing you to enter command interactively. We will be doing this in practical for sure. You can follow the activity guide for these commands. Next is Docker PS. So it lists the Docker containers that are currently running, right? When you run Docker PS, it displays a list of Docker containers that are currently running, and this command provides information such as container ID, names, status, ports, and more. It helps you verify which container are active and operating. So if we talk about Docker PS-A, it lists all the Docker containers, including those that are stopped. So adding the -a flag to Docker PS extends its functionality to show all the Docker containers, including that are already stopped. So this command is useful for inspecting the status of all the containers regardless of whether they are currently running or not. Next is Docker kill. It stops the Docker container by sending a signal kill, right? So Docker kill is used to forcefully stop one or more running containers by sending a signal kill to them, and you provide the container ID or name of the containers you want to stop as arguments. To stop all the running containers, you can use a command like docker kill -q, and this command immediately terminates the container without giving it a chance to clean up, right? So the last command here was docker remove, that is rm command. It removes Docker containers from the system. To remove Docker container from the system, you use the docker rm command followed by the container ID or names. For example, docker rm $docker ps-a-q removes all the Docker containers, including those that are stopped, and this command is useful for cleaning up unused containers and freeing up the disk space. Next is commonly used compose commands. So first is docker compose build, right? It builds the services defined in the Docker Compose file. We will do the concept of Docker Compose as well. We are having a separate chapter for in this course. We will do compose commands in depth there, right? So Docker Compose up is used to start the services defined in the Docker Compose file, right? And Docker Compose ls command lists the services defined in the Docker Compose file. And Docker Compose ps command lists the running containers for services defined in the Docker Compose file, right? And Docker Compose start the containers that were created using a Docker Compose file, right? And when you run Docker Compose start, it starts all the containers that were defined in the Docker Compose.yaml file. And this command is useful when you have stopped containers and want to start them again without recreating them, right? And if you use that command docker compose rm, it removes the docker containers created by the docker compose. So when you use docker compose rm, it is used to remove the containers that were created by docker compose. So adding the -f flag forces the removal of the containers without asking the confirmation. So this command clean up the environment by removing unwanted containers. And here the last command is docker compose ps. It checks the status of the docker containers managed by the docker compose. So running docker compose ps displays the status of the container created by docker compose. It provides information such as container id, service name, command, state and ports, and this command helps you monitor the running containers and troubleshoot any issues that may arise within the docker compose environment. So this is the summary of this chapter. We have studied various kinds of basic commands of Docker and even image commands and container commands in this chapter, right? So here is the quiz. Let's discuss this now. Which of the following is the registry which is used to host various Docker images? So the options are Docker Engine, Docker Hub, Docker Compose, and none of these. So as we talk about the registry here, so Docker Hub is the registry which is used to host various Docker images, right? It's an open source registry or Docker Hub which is having various kinds of Docker images. Next is running of containers is managed with the docker dash command. So what it should be: create, insert, run or sudo. As it is concerned with running, so the option C is correct, that is run command. Next is one can list all the containers on the machine via dash command. So the options are docker run, docker pc, docker r, docker ps. So it is concerned with listing all the containers on the machine. So docker ps command is used to list the process status of every container that is running locally, right? Next is which of the following tells the docker ps command to list all the containers on the system? -p, -r, -a or -z. So the correct option is -a. Normally docker ps command will list all the running containers. It will not list the stopped container. But if we want to list all the containers whether they are running or stopped, we have to use -a option along with ps. Next is which command is used to delete a container? First is delete, remove, rm or drop. So the correct option is C, rm. This command is used to remove the container, right? So we have completed this chapter, right? This chapter was all about the basic commands used in Docker.